Tony got his face broke, y'all, this evening.
Like Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner.
Yeah, ran slam into the side of a cliff and face broke down, neck, eyes, head, ear, throat, back, foot.
Boom! Welcome to Cliff Alerts.
Today we're going to be talking about OWN Network's reality-based TV series, Ready to Love, season number 7, episode number 13, the
But
finale.
before we get into it, we are asking that you support our channel by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Please send us your comments as well as click that notification button so you know when we upload new content. Tommy comes through and he tells the group,
At the final gathering,
yeah, that some nonsense about him being proud that they are in fact ready to love.
since when? Introducing family to connections was Morgan, right?
Morgan introduced Tony to her brother Harry. Before meeting with Harry, Morgan tells Harry that she liked the fact that Tony was aggressive to a fault. What?
Talking out the side of your neck.
How are you going to like someone being aggressive to a fault?
I know.
Explain that to me.
I ain't trying to explain foolishness to you,
And
me,
then
or
she
anybody
makes,
else. I don't
ay,
understand.
ay,
I ain't trying to
ay.
understand that.
And then she goes on, although she released some sort of statement apologizing to Natasha for bringing her name up in the situation between herself and Tony. I don't understand why she keeps bringing Natasha's name up if not to use it as a weapon. The root of bitterness in Morgan is off the chain.
I am reminded of the comments that were made to her about uh, her being a red flag.
Tony sits down with the brother and uh, Tony starts explaining his interaction with Lyndon, how they clashed for Morgan.
Two alpha males,
Right.
and that just lock horns.
Harry told Tony that, he's from New York. He got some aggression. It's like in their DNA, and he don't like that jealousy stuff. And he don't want to have to roll through Miami to have to check Tony if he comes sideways at his sister. Then he brings up the stuff about Natasha.
And Tony was surprised at
Yes,
that moment. He was caught off guard with it.
the brother asked Tony why did he lay down with someone else, and Tony had to then explain what happened. He said that he was going forward with Morgan. That's why he had to tell her what happened between him and Natasha.
And pursue that exclusively as a possible connection in the future. And Tony was surprised at
Yes,
that moment. He was caught off guard with it. And I think he said so in his confession.
yeah, he did.
And
He
that
was
was
confused. He didn't
yeah,
know the kind of venom he is dealing with.
clearly he
No idea.
clearly he didn't.
Because trust and believe, Morgan is a hurt woman. Had some bad situations, and I guess she made a determination that she's not going to be played ever again. So, as a result of that, she is now hurting people because one thing she said is that neither she or her brother have any emotion. And if you don't have any emotion,
Any conscience
any
about you.
conscience,
You'll do
then
anything.
you will do just about
And
anything.
she's basically shown that from an hair nair incident to this now. And even before, even between those two episodes, the thing that she had with Blake, the comments that she made about Blake, it
She
just she has
she
no
has been hurt so much
right.
that she has gone over to the other side. So now we move on to Miss Cynthia.
Mm-hmm.
And Cynthia brought out
Bought the
her
crew.
cute crew. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Her sister Edna and her
Yep.
two cousins.
Yeah.
Cynthia was emotional, talking about, the past and saying that her family knew what she had to go through and she wanted them just to make a determination because she wants to be with her man.
Yeah. Dre rolled up first.
Yes.
Made an impression. He was clean. He was dressed. He was that South Beach. He had that South Beach swag going on a little bit. At least I did. I thought he did from the way he dressed.
Mm-hmm.
And that wouldn't be the case later on at the end of the episode, but that's all right. We'll get there.
Asked him what is his intention moving forward as it relates to Cynthia. Said that he is seeking love. He was in a relationship for 5 years with a 23-year-old who had a child, and he was a stepfather for 5 years. He said that he was hurt when the relationship ended, and he still has some residue of
Left
that
over,
hurt left over.
which raised more than an eyebrow from the crew.
Right, but he said he's more than willing to step into that stepfather slot. He is saying that he's the dude for her and that he will be able to step in that slot if she needs him to. Now, mind you, James, who is the father of Cynthia's kids, is waiting on the in the wings. He is not has not abandoned his kids. He's still
Waiting to
on
cause
ready.
havoc.
He's still on ready set, waiting for someone to show up so he could pop off.
Right, and act a complete fool.
Anthony rolled through, and Anthony said he's looking for his forever person. He has a daughter. He works at the hospital, and he's attracted to Cynthia.
Right, and was not intimidated by the fact that she too has kids, and she was very, very, very expressive with him. I think, and to her crew, which is just, I guess, proof of their connection. I think it's authentic.
Well, the ladies was threatening him because
Yeah, they sure did, didn't they?
yeah, they didn't mind, and I guess he settled in for the ride.
Mhm.
But they told him that because they have been witness to what she had to go through, Cynthia's looking for someone who will have her back,
Right,
and
and
anything less than that is
from
gonna be a
whoever's on the other
problem
end.
for who is the exactly. So
But I think Anthony handled it very well. Oh, so you're gonna threaten the bro? Well, that ain't enough to stop me. After, I guess, both of the brothers had a chance to make their impressions on Cynthia's family, she asked the ladies, what did you think? And they all said that they thought that in Dre's case, he was afraid to make the move because he was unsure since he didn't have kids what that would be like. So it was kind of like a red flag to them. But in Cynthia's case, yeah, there was a lot of similarities, a lot of connection that they saw, and maybe that was the way that they thought she should go.
Mercedes is trying to wrap her head around situation where she's gonna be
Potentially
a long-term relationship potentially with
with
Mark Anthony
Anthony, yes.
because Mark Anthony has decided that he is gonna be moving to New York, and while he said that he's gonna go back and
For
forth and what have
between there
you,
and South Beach, yeah.
it's still a open question. I know certainly if I was in that position, I would not be moving for any man.
Yeah, and his responses to the question that uh Vanessa posed to him, Vanessa being
Morgan's friend,
Mercedes' friend,
Mercedes friend.
were very kind of oriented around him making the decision and not really considering what was necessarily best for her.
Right. And when Vanessa tried to check him or regulate what he was saying, he wasn't budging. And then she asked him if he was stubborn.
Stubborn,
And I
yes.
thought the conversation was getting ready to roll sideways, but he pulled it back. He said he knows who he is and he knows what he wants to do.
And she was skeptical also about this whole notion of going back and forth between New York and South Beach,
Right.
and how that didn't represent, from her vantage point, stability that she felt like her girl Mercedes needed.
And she's absolutely right
Absolutely,
because
can't argue with that.
when Mark Antony left, Vanessa gave her really good
I
advice.
think
She
so too.
said,
I'll-
"You guys don't have any foundation for a long-term relationship.
So how do you
So how
justify
do you
running back and
justify
forth with
going
somebody
running
that
back and forth with someone you don't have a
any
foundation with?"
stability with yet?
And she said something really sensible. She said that if the Mark Antony wasn't cute, what do you really have?
And she couldn't answer,
And she
which
couldn't
was an
answer.
answer,
Exactly.
a great answer about where
Absolutely.
she should be versus where she maybe thought she was.
because you could get caught up in the cute,
Hmm.
but reality knocks
Is
and reality bites, and sometimes that cute may not be everything.
and it's not going to change simply because you're not ready to accept it
Right.
for what you want to do.
And this is not a situation like they were dating and he has to move to New York for a job or what have you. They're now coming in fresh.
Hmm.
So when you're coming in fresh like that, you got to make some significant effort to be able to keep that connection going.
Hmm.
And I don't know. She says she doesn't know if she's willing to do that or not.
Right, and that's something that I think is legitimate. Jeffrey, what do you call it? AKA,
Baby kisses. When she said that, baby Jeffrey, aka Baby.
and and she invited her, I guess, sister Lay
Yeah.
to meet with Dree.
Yes.
Okay.
And Drake rolled through. Um, he sat down. The sister asked what he likes about her. He said they have good energy. They could talk to each other without saying a word. He loves that she's spiritual. He
They're on the
loves
same page
they're on the
with
same
that.
page with each other. He seemed like he met the kids and he thinks they're cute and that he don't mind acting in getting in the father role because that's not far from his past
As
experience
stepfather
as a
with his ex.
stepfather.
Yes, yes.
And the sister said, "Okay, that's cool and fine and what have you." He got up and said he had to leave, and then the sister asked her a really good question that just raised my energy. The sister told her, "You gotta be very transparent with him as he has been transparent with you because it's not just you, it's the babies." And I'm thinking, what is the sister talking about that Jeffries, aka Baby Kisses, have not been transparent about?
And
And I
holding something,
and
something
I guess we're gonna find that out because
at the
next week at the
reunion,
reunion,
part one.
the baby soft voice has gone, and now we hear some bass in her voice as she responds to some sort of upset she and Dre are having on set.
Anyway, now it's time for it's time for a decision day.
All right,
8 singles who remain.
right.
Okay, so Mark Anthony is first up. Now he shows up with a tux and he's clean until you get out of his feet.
Why? Why?
Why? Because from my vantage point, at that point, he needed to be a little bit more coordinated in his choice of footwear.
So
And so the
the ensemble didn't come together because the the foot situation was off.
maybe now to be able to demonstrate the finer aspects of men's haberdashery, you have to be clean from head to toe. Back it up a little bit. He presented her with flowers. I thought that was a nice touch, but I don't think that you thought too much of Mercedes' choice in dress either.
Well, I didn't like the top part of a dress. It looked ill-fitting at the top. I like the bottom, the sort of see-through kind of vibe.
Mhm.
That swimsuit's kind of resort
Right,
wear.
right,
But I think the top part of it was ill-fitting. I don't know, couldn't understand what was going on at the top.
yeah.
So she's a petite girl, so she doesn't need a whole lot of fabric around her neck. Something was off with the top of her
Okay,
dress.
right. Well, that was a tangent, a little bit of a tangent.
But
So forgive me.
Mercedes said that while she likes Mark Anthony as a friend, the long distance situation is not going to work for her because it has no foundation, and
Instability,
and
instability.
she's looking for someone who where she can feel stable and that there's a foundation under her feet.
Very mature explanation, very mature decision as a result of her coming to that point and stage in the process where she's saying, "Okay, I can't. I know I can't do that. I'm not going to deceive myself into believing that I could simply because I'm uh, physically attracted to this guy. So I'm going to choose myself."
Right.
And Mark, even though Mark Anthony chose her, he understood.
Yeah, I mean, it was cordial, it was
Right.
graceful, it was respectful.
Mm.
So next up, we see,
Honey from NYC or wherever he's from in New York.
and Tony came in with
His open collar and the suit jacket and all
his
that.
man's situation.
And,
The shirt was mammarish. I thought,
I don't know about that. I don't know if I agree with you on that one. But he was, he came with his own, I guess sense of swag with him in terms of his dress and all that. And I didn't necessarily have a problem with that.
yeah, Morgan had on a beautiful red dress. She
Hmm.
looked great in it, and then she decided to open her mouth,
And
and
that's where all the beauty
that's
left.
when all the beauty,
Oh my goodness.
because Tony was brash. She was like, "I choose you, girl. You're my boo."
Since
Because
day one,
yeah,
he knows he made the mistake, but you know what? He addressed it and he's ready to move on, and he's ready to move on with his strongest connection, i.e. Morgan. And she is the one that he is focused on, locked into, and attracted to.
and then when Morgan's chance to speak, she said, "Tony is a fabulous man. He's a great man." And then she said, "There's some issues." And
We see a different side of her.
we see that the venom, that thing just coming out,
Mm.
and she's ready to just hit you with it.
Yeah, she
And
referenced the
she referenced the
aggression
aggression
issue that she
issue
that
that
she
she,
mentioned with Harry, her brother, in their meeting prior to their conversation, their three-way conversation at the restaurant or location that they all met.
but what aggression is she talking about? Is she talking about the aggression that Tony had to my Caribbean brother with
With
Lyndon?
Lyndon
Yeah,
at the group
is that
getaway
what she's
at the
talking about?
I don't
Because we haven't seen him be aggressive towards her.
maybe not in terms of action, maybe
He
in
has
terms
been short.
verbally, yes. Yes, he has been, and I think he's taken ownership for that, and I thought he apologized for it.
And then she said that what she couldn't get with him because he had that entanglement with Natasha. And in her confessional, she said that Tony looked surprised. He thought he had her in the bag, but not so much. And that she made her decision based on the entanglement which happened prior to him focusing his skills on her, and the comment that he said to Lyndon that, you know, he can have Lyndon can have her if Marcia rolls through.
Yeah, so she was
So
filing all of
she
that in the memory banks to bring it up at this
she
point in time,
right, because
and
she used
she
the Natasha stuff with her brother as a tool, as a weapon to
weaponized.
humiliate him,
Yep,
just like she humiliated Blake and she humiliated Natasha. But both of them are come from the same seed. Both of them don't mind using people to gain something, but she is more better skilled at it than he is.
yeah,
I mean, she was waiting for his
in
throat.
the cut, in the
She
cut.
was waiting for his throat, and then she quotes what love is,
In the
and not
Bible, First
looking
Corinthians chapter, I believe 13,
exactly,
verses 4 through 8 or something like that,
exactly
about what love is and
what
what
love
love
is and
is
what
not.
is not.
Well, it's not
Does
resentful or
she know?
boastful or
Does she
revengeful or
know
vindictive
love talks about acting unseemly? Does she know that love is kind
and not vindictive,
and not vindictive? Did
not
she, when she
resentful.
was talking a lot about love, did she get a mirror? She said in her apology that was posted this week, the woman who is showing up on TV, that that's not her.
Who the hell was it?
Well, if that's not you and you've apologized, we gotta accept her
Yeah,
apology.
but was that for
How,
us or was
however, who was that apology for
right or the
or
person
to?
that was the injured party?
Exactly. So did she apologize to Natasha face to face?
That's what I
Did
wondered.
she call her up? Who did she apologize to?
Well,
Is she apologizing because she's getting heat from people?
from the general audience and viewers.
So next we have Anthony meets with Cynthia, and Cynthia clearly made the choice. It's not Dre, but it's Anthony. They fell on each other's neck, and they have a hopeful future.
Yeah, I think that really Anthony was very deliberate in his approach. He may have made a few mistakes, what have you, but I always thought that he was genuinely attracted to Cynthia and that they had a connection. They had some similarities in terms of being parents, both being parents. Um, they're physically attracted to one another. It seems like they're catching each other at the right point in time.
I could be wrong, but I think Cynthia was more interested in Dre than Anthony.
She may have, but
I just got that feeling.
she may have been, but I think Anthony was the better choice for her at this point in this moment in her life.
Okay. And then we go to Jeffrey's, aka Baby Kisses,
And Dre,
and Dre.
he had on some red hot top, didn't he? Did he have on black socks or did he have on the Ray joints?
Looked like Huggy Lowdown Bama.
He was definitely a contender. I'm not clowning, but I'm just saying he was a contender. You know, Huggy used to have a Bama of the Week competition every Friday on Tom Jordan Radio morning show. Got me thinking.
Jeffries rolled through. I'm not sure I like the dress she was rocking. But the hair was distracting to me because I think she tried to roll with her boy. She had this sort of like clip and then
The
this
clip-on
one
helmet
on top.
is her what?
Biblical husband.
Oh my goodness.
Well, it is what it is.
Hey, man, she shook her brother up with that statement, boy. I was like, where the hell did that one come from?
Thank you, Paul, for the reference of Bib Jeffrey, aka Baby.
Yeah, and they chose one another, and you know what? They should. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't, and this is just me saying this, and I could be very wrong, and there's some part of me that hopes that I am wrong. I just don't see what he sees in her, you know, in terms of her situation, having the three children, as being something that he is, you know, he thinks is the best scenario for him.
She showed up with this blonde wig like Miss
Cleopatra Jones or something like
there
that.
was some bass in her voice.
Oh yeah, she got
So
it back.
she got a little change to switch it up so it's no longer baby kisses. She ready to throw down. And
And
she
Dre had a little toot with him because apparently something had transpired between the two.
yeah, something happened between but you knew it would.
Well, yeah.
They were not fitted or suited for each other.
No, but Dre tried to talk himself into believing that they were.
While the cast was better compared to the past, the connections that we saw weren't sort of genuine.
There were very few of them as far as I was concerned, and to me, when like I said, and I gotta ding Tommy for this, for him to say right at the top of this episode that he honestly believes that each one of those persons, their readiness to love was bald-headed buffoonery. Let's just say that.
I'm sure that Tony and Morgan still connected even after this was filmed. We thank you to our new subscribers, and we are grateful that we can keep a smile on your face.
And please understand that you know, yeah, we like to have fun, but at the same time, there's a seriousness to what we do, and we're trying to, you know, encourage people to have, you know, healthy and wholesome relationships, but just be authentic with one another so that you have a real chance, a real shot at that, if that's what you guys so choose to do.
Amen.